Bada bing, bada boom. We're back. Gonna try to keep this one somewhat short just because the computer's about to die, but able to make a few more videos today. So I'm gonna take the opportunity, and we're gonna start a series, just our Blazers series, where we're looking at individual players, but specifically from the Portland Trailblazers, and we may even pick out one, maybe two G League guys that we're looking at too. Although the main guy that I would be looking for is Sean Padula, who just got picked up by, I think it's the Nets or maybe the Sixers, which that always sucks is when you have a guy killing in the G and somebody else picks him up. I'm actually, for somebody who knows as much about basketball as me, I'm not actually super in tune with how that works, right? Who you can call up, who you can give an NBA contract to. If NBA teams have rights on those guys, I'm not totally sure. Maybe sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I assume that's the case. But listen, let me stop ranting. We're going to look at Donovan Clingan today, all right? When we drafted this kid, we knew we needed a center. We were looking for a center. I believe we actually had just gotten DeAndre Ayton at the time, and I was adamantly opposed to it. I've always seen through the DeAndre Ayton curtain or whatever you want to call it, where he can look like a good player. He can put the stats on the stat sheet, but he's not making an impact. Everything that he puts on the stat sheet, he's giving up twofold, whether it be, directly logistically, or if it's just, through little things where he's putting his team at a disadvantage and the other team is getting, more efficient looks or buckets. DeAndre Ayton is a dog. I mean, just absolute dog water. He's dog water. He's the bag of poop that you carry when you're walking your dog at the park, right? Like, he's actually bad. He's bad at basketball, all right? And we have to accept that. Now, for us to pay him what we did, or for us to be willing to pay him what we did, unbelievable, guys. But we did cut him. Bad news is we're now paying a guy $32 million to play for somebody else. That's a problem. All right. That's a big problem. But listen, let me stop ranting. Enough about DeAndre Ayton. He's another team's problem now. Lakers, y'all can have fun with that one. But we're going to talk about Donovan Clingan and why. All right. When we drafted him, us and everybody else in the league, every other GM, actually, I take that back because a lot of these GMs don't know basketball. They're just, rich kids who got the job handed down. But pretty much every GM knew he was going to be a long-term, starting center. He was a starting center in this league. He has the frame, and that's the main thing, right? He's got the strength. But he was a young guy. He was going to have to adapt. And as far as like his ceiling was kind of like very understood, right? Like, it wasn't very it wasn't fluctuating much throughout the different opinions of GMs. No, everybody knew that Donovan Clingan was going to be an above average center whenever he got to his prime, and he was going to be that for the rest of his career. We see tons of guys do that today. Like, think about the amount of centers. There's only so many centers that are actually stars. Think about the amount of centers that are that, right? But he has far surpassed my expectations, the Blazers' expectations, and anybody for that matter. And not necessarily that he surpassed them, but that he will surpass them. Because what he is currently today in his second year of basketball, or maybe third, could be mixing that up, is already what he was supposed to be in his prime. He's already that, right? And he's got a lot of room to grow. He's a lot smarter. His faculties, per se, are capable of a lot more than at first thought. And truthfully, the main thing is just him slimming down a little bit, him getting better at moving, right? He's clearly practiced moving, not just by, losing weight or doing a couple footwork drills. Like, no, somebody has worked with this guy on how to move fluidly and coordinated. Now, he's still a 7-foot center, guys. He doesn't look pretty out there. But what I will say is, for Donovan Clingan, anybody who knows his game, he now looks pretty. And he's come a far way. Guys, his 3-ball looks great. Okay, we saw flashes of that way back, but I don't think anybody ever thought that was going to be consistent. Today, everybody thinks that's going to be consistent. Everybody with an opinion that's worth a crap, right? That 3-ball is beautiful. He hits it from the top of the key so well, but in general, once he starts to kind of get, be able to hit that corner 3 if he needs to space, or on the wing, whatever. And then if he can kind of get to that mid range where he has some type of choice, right? His shot's a slow shot, so you don't want a center shooting a slow mid range shot. Mid range shot in general usually, but if he can just get a little bit more touch, a little, some of that hook, some of that close shot on 2K almost. Work on a little bit of that, some of that post control. He's going to be nasty. But here's the thing: right now, he's a championship level center on a team that just needs a supporting piece. You know what I mean? Like if you're a team that's looking for a center as a supporting piece, not as somebody you're feeding the ball to. If you're a Lakers, Donovan Clingan is everything you need and want. But you got DeAndre Ayton. Must suck. No, but in all seriousness, Donovan Clingan's a dog. We're not breaking down his footwork and skill like we will with a lot of the guards and wings that we look at. But yeah, look at him. We may talk.
Milton out of USC.
Goodness gracious, that is very loud. My bad. We may talk about what we're actually seeing, and sometimes we may just talk over it. That's just easy defense. So yeah, this is his rookie highlights. So this is his second year. Already, usually he did a very good job of being in the right spot like consistently last year. But you can see that run. I mean, that run is so much less fluid than it is this year. He's always been a great defender. From day one, you knew what you were getting as far as like just a paint protector, a guy that, like that can go straight up. He can block shots. He can be physical. He can take a shoulder to the chest. And he can rebound the heck out of the ball, right? This is a top 5 rebounder in the league. I think he might be top 3 right now. I'm not for sure on it. But, that's what what you're getting out of him is just, paint protection, shot blocking, and even just the threat kind of being there and making offenses play to, play off of you. Obviously, this year we have Robert Williams, who is honestly actually better than Clingan is on the defensive side. But who in basketball is really better on the defensive side as a center than Rob Will, right? Like that's what he does. He's not giving you anything on offense, but except for 2 or 3 alley-oop dunks a game. But he's going to protect the paint, and he does it at an extremely high level. So having that to pair with Donovan Clingan, and not necessarily pair, but kind of like have as a backup and still have that look and still have that threat down low is huge. But also I have seen very few times, right? Sometimes they just do it for the shock factor of it per se. But they have done, put Rob Will and Donovan Clingan out there. And if Donovan Clingan continues to hit the 3, that's going to be in this team's future. What we saw last year, who was it? With the was it OKC? So whoever was going double big in the playoffs last year, I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm just totally blanking. But it was a total mismatch thing, right? Like that's it's gonna be hard to guard the Rockets in the playoffs this year, just because they're so big. Now they'll also have to face the issue of Amin Thompson they're going to force Amin Thompson to shoot the ball. Whoever's guarding him is going to stay like inside of the charge circle. It's going to be that crazy and that exaggerated in the playoffs. So they'll have to figure that out. But my point is, it gives us such a different look. I mean, not in the wildest world. God, is that even a saying? What am I talking about? I need a coffee, boys. Coffee before the next video is mandatory. But listen, nobody thought he was going to be able to space the floor like he is, much less will be. And that is scary to be able to play defense like this. And then he's never going to be a switchable defender like you see some of these like long, lanky, wiry, like power forwards coming out. Occasionally you'll get a 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot guy who's very switchable. This is not him. He's a strong guy. But he's also proven that like he's got a lot more lateral ability, potential, and all the above. And that opens up his game so much. I think this is going to be a guy that finishes at least once in his career, all NBA defense. I bet it's at least a couple times, or maybe actually at least once all NBA, at least twice on all NBA defense. I'm calling it. And maybe it's crazy. Listen, I'm big on bias or like identifying bias. And, instead of trying to not come off with bias, I just accept the fact that it's impossible. and that nobody actually does, whether they say they do or not, or whether they're truly making the effort to or not. It doesn't really matter, right? It's the bias is leaking out in another way. So I'm always going to have a little bit of bias towards these Blazers guys, but I truly, truly, truly cannot emphasize enough how special I think this guy's going to be and how much better he has proven to be and could be than originally thought. This needs to be a franchise cornerstone. There should not be a world where we ever don't give this guy what he wants as far as money. I mean, he's going to be consistent night-to-night basis. I don't think he's going to deal with a whole lot of injuries. You know, he's not getting off the floor. He's not moving a whole lot, right? He's very stationary relative to NBA standards. But this guy's legit. This guy's legit. I wish I didn't do so much damn talk. I wish I didn't do so much talking before I started playing these highlights. The original goal was kind of to have these in the background. And sometimes watch these, sometimes not. But really what you're going to see, if it was this year's highlights, you would see a lot more variety and diversity. But right now you're just going to see, block shots. That's pretty much it. You might see an occasional little alley-oop dunk off the pick and roll or the stagger. But that's pretty much it. You're just going to see blocks. So listen, it's not about what you're seeing on the screen right now. It's what you're seeing when you watch the game, if you are watching the game. If you're watching this, you probably are. But yeah, no, that's what it's about, is what he looks like this year compared to last year. And that work ethic alone just tells you that he has, he projects to have the career path of somebody that's going to be a max player. So yeah, grab this coffee before I get to this next video. Maybe I'll remember what I'm actually doing, be able to talk at a decent speed. But yeah, no, enjoyed it, boys and girls, maybe. And yeah, peace.